Okay, so big news, crazy news, huge news. After conducting a Twitter poll with over 15 million participants, the people have spoken and Donald J. Trump is back on Twitter, reinstated by Elon Musk after he was taken off by Musk's predecessors at Twitter in January 2021. We're going to be taking a look at the reactions, the fallout, and if Trump will actually come back to Twitter, which is a big question. He may just stay off of it. My name is Moshe Hill. This is A Hill with a View. Let's get right to it. So, Donald Trump is back on Twitter officially, not back on Twitter actually. So, it's very funny, exciting. It's great to see the meltdowns by the media and the left. And I just love it. I live for that stuff. So, let's go right to it. Let's just see how people on Twitter reacted to this. First, we have the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who we're getting right off the bat with the crazy on the international stage. He wrote, the return of Donald Trump to Twitter shows why we desperately need new regulation of social media and online speech. That's right, because he didn't want regulation before, but now he does, because he didn't really like regulation. But now that Trump's on there, we need regulation. Freedom of speech is vital. Come on. But it must be balanced against keeping other people safe to protect our democracy and society. Well, who defines what safe is? Keeping other people safe to protect our democracy and society? Wait, so freedom of speech, as long as we're keeping other people safe, but we define what's safe? That's dangerous stuff. Trump's actions have put people at risk from hate crimes and physical violence, and he encouraged an attempt to overthrow the democratically elected U.S. government on 6 January. Man, all right. You're clearly writing this for an American audience, so just write January 6th. All right, and he also goes far and says, Trump is a dangerous far-right politician who has a history of inciting violence. He must not be allowed to use social media to preach hate and further fuel the politics of division. Yeah, but he already is using social media to his heart's content. It's just not your social media. This is literally just a platform that he could use. He could use his own social media that he created, Truth Social. But that doesn't count because this is the place that you are, and you don't want him to be in the same building you're in. That's upsetting to you. I feel so bad. So sad for you. So, what else we got? We also have Scott Dworkin. He wrote, this is my favorite, because he said, quick poll, who agrees Trump should be banned from Twitter forever? Now, my favorite part about this is that he didn't actually make a poll out of it. He just made the tweet with no actual poll because he knew that he would get crushed in the poll. That always cracks me up. Then we have Shannon Coulter, who's a contributor. I think she's a New York Times contributor, but she's a writer. Just emailed the head of safety at Apple and Google, respectively, to ask if their app stores will continue to carry the Twitter app now that Elon Musk has reinstated Donald Trump. And I also even saw news that Apple has been removing tweets. Maybe they're going to take Twitter off the App Store. That would be crazy if they did that. I don't know. Then we have Jonathan Greenblatt. Okay, so Jonathan Greenblatt went on a bit of a Twitter, Twitter tweet thread, going crazy about this. Jonathan Greenblatt is the head of the ADL. He has single-handedly pulled the ADL so far to the left, nobody even considers it a serious Jewish organization anymore. At least no Jews consider it a serious Jewish organization. It's still used as like a puppet Jewish organization for the left. So it's really just the non-Jews Jewish organization, I guess. But basically, that's what Jonathan Greenblatt's done. As we've said before, Trump used Twitter to foment intolerance, issue threats, and incite a violent attack against the U.S. government. Okay, he did none of those things. Sure. Moreover, he has shown no indication that he would do anything different if given the opportunity. Well, since he did none of them in the first place, how could he do anything different? For Elon Musk to allow Donald Trump back on Twitter, ostensibly after a brief poll, shows he is not remotely serious about safeguarding the platform from hate, harassment, and misinformation. So, let's not forget that Donald Trump was the president of the United States. Let's just not forget about that because people think that it's kind of irrelevant. Donald Trump has literally millions and millions of people who would still vote for him today. Tens of millions who would vote for him today. At least probably 70 million, let's say. Now, you're saying that Donald Trump is just a platform of hate, harassment, misinformation. So what are you saying about all the people that have voted for him, many of whom voted for him twice? That's a real question for Jonathan Greenblatt. When ADL and other Stop Hate for Profit leaders met with Elon Musk on November 1st, okay, this is the first I'm hearing about this, he committed to not re-platform anyone regardless of stature until he installed a transparent, clear process that took into consideration the views of civil society. There is literally no transparent, clear process that takes into consideration the views of civil society more than a public poll. He had a public poll, very transparent. The results were 52-48 in favor of Trump coming back, with over 15 million votes. How is that not transparent, clear, and takes into consideration of views of civil society? Elon Musk's decision over the last month have been erratic and alarming, but this decision is dangerous and a threat to American democracy. We need to ask, is it time for Twitter to go? So this decision is dangerous, a threat to democracy. Now, he was the president of the United States. He's running for president again. Letting the presidential candidate for the Republican Party is a threat to American democracy. Maybe that's not the only Republican candidate you want to stop from speaking. I don't know. Maybe you want to make Ron DeSantis, kick him off of Twitter. He's a threat to American democracy because but you had a little typo over there. He's a threat to American small d democracy, you wrote, but you really mean big D democracy. Democrats. That's what you really mean. Derek Johnson of the NAACP said, "You are failing our democracy." Once again, small d, but he really means big D. Your garbage poll means nothing. Did people outside the U.S. vote? Did you reach out to marginalized communities, the target of Trump's rhetoric, for their input? Your followers don't represent America. If you run Twitter like this, God help us all. Oh, okay. But Trump would literally be a person on a international platform. So you don't need to only have people in U.S. vote. He's not tweeting for the United States. He's tweeting for himself to everyone. In fact, some may say that his Twitter account basically culled the North Koreans and the Russians and the Iranians, because he was so crazy on Twitter, he was actually really good for world peace. That's actually a legitimate argument that I make all the time, because he was a nutbag and nobody knew what he was going to do. And so people like Kim Jong-un were like, yeah, I'm going to step back. Except for currently Kim Jong-un is threatening nuclear war because our current president is a old feckless moron. So, maybe we could use some input from outside the U.S. I don't know. Did you reach out to marginalized communities? Once again, I don't know why what you call a marginalized community would have any greater say in this particular thing, what Elon Musk does with his own company. It's kind of ridiculous. All right. And then Rob Reiner. Oh, he's always great. Rob Reiner. He always says the dumbest things. Elon Musk is letting a man who led a violent insurrection to overthrow the United States government back on this platform, letting the lies and disinformation continue to poison the American bloodstream. Yes, he led a violent insurrection. I remember that when Trump stood at the podium and said, "We will overthrow the government. We will lead a violent direction." He didn't say at all, "We will peacefully march to the Capitol," like literally every single march does in Washington, D.C., because if you've ever seen any single protest or rally in Washington, D.C., the Million Man March, the March for Our Lives, that's what the gun control group does, the March for Life, that's what the pro-life does. They're all marches because everyone marches to the Capitol. They start at one spot and they march to the Capitol. That's how you protest in D.C. So, but no. What Trump did was different because he did the same thing, but we don't like what he did, so it's different. Yeah. And then, of course, AOC. I don't know, man. Last time he was there, this platform was used to incite an insurrection. Multiple people died. The vice president... Okay, hold on. This platform was used to incite an insurrection. Now, that's kind of interesting because after January 6th, Twitter wasn't kicked off of the App Store and Google Play and deplatformed by Amazon Web Services. Parler was, because Parler was where everyone used to gather everyone up. That's where the insurrection happened, was on Parler, right? That's what I was told. No. Oh, now it happened on this platform. So wait, shouldn't you want this platform to have kicked off? This platform should have been deplatformed 2.5 years ago, right? Or a year and a half ago. No. Oh wait, no, that doesn't count. The vice president. Oh yeah, because you would have cared, by the way, AOC, if Mike Pence was assassinated. You would have danced in the streets if Mike Pence was assassinated. You would have loved it. Hundreds were injured, but I guess that's not enough for you to answer the question. Twitter poll it is. Yeah, let's not do anything about, the platform that was used by Kamala Harris, which was this one, to gather money to break people, to parole people out of jail who were causing billions of dollars in damage and killing dozens of people over the course of the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots. No, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so then we have the New York Times article. This New York Times article is also great. Here we go. I studied Trump's Twitter use for 6 years. Prepare for the worst. First of all, this Brian Ott, he studied Trump's Twitter use for 6 years. Dude, I don't know how you didn't end up in a padded room after that, because anyone who looked at Trump's Twitter for 6 days, let alone 6 years, would go insane. I don't know how that happens. So you studied it for 6 years. So what do you have to say after you studied for 6 years? So you said Mr. Trump's return to Twitter could escalate the likelihood of political violence. Okay. So you basically created an unfalsifiable possibility here, because basically political violence does happen. It's literally been happening as long as there were politicians, there have been political violence. All right. Julius Caesar was stabbed in the back. So the politicians have political violence. They've been going on for a long time. But now you've created a scenario that now that Trump's back on Twitter, regardless of what he does or says, anything happens in any situation, you could say, oh, that's because Trump's back on Twitter. That's your fault, Elon Musk. And then they said over here, first, this is why his two-pronged approach, why this is a big deal. First, a large number of people not only listen to Mr. Trump, but are also inclined to take direction from him. Okay, so basically, Trump is the only politician who ever has a large number of people listen to him and are inclined to take direction from him. So let's just change this a little bit. Remember when Obama wanted to, do something about those 501c3 nonprofit conservative groups, and then the head of the IRS, Lois Lerner, just happened to do the thing, but they never connected the two, because Mr. Obama has a lot of people. There's a large number of people who listen to Mr. Obama and are also inclined to take direction from him. Oh, that's crazy. Second, Mr. Trump combines divisiveness and dogmatism with hatred and angry rhetoric that risks inciting violence. Also, a unique quality in all politicians. I've never heard any politician be divisive. I mean, we just celebrated Nancy Pelosi leaving leadership, so gracefully stepping down after decades of service. She was never divisive. She was never dogmatic. She never spread hatred and angry rhetoric. That never happened from Nancy Pelosi, except for literally every single time she opened her mouth and spread all that stuff. That's literally how she ran her Congress every single time she was speaker. And when she was in the minority, same thing. For reasons better left to psychologists, Donald Trump is not content to forget or forgive people he perceives to have wronged him. Okay, that same is true with literally hundreds of millions of other people. He wants to destroy them. It's also true with many, many people. So he calls them out, often on social media, and then he goads his followers into doing something about it. You're going to have to really connect those dots. You really are, because they don't exist. So here's CNN right after it happened. This is the great, they just had this reaction. I wish they were crying. I really do, but this is what we're going to have to live with.
This just into CNN. Donald Trump's Twitter account is back. Elon Musk reinstated the former president just minutes ago. This is President Trump's Twitter page here. Until tonight, it had said account suspended. Earlier tonight, Musk posted a poll on Twitter asking if people thought Donald Trump should be allowed back on the service. Musk says the results showed that people wanted Trump to return. He tweeted this: "The people have spoken. Trump will be reinstated. Vox Populi, Vox Dei," which is...
All right. Very upsetting. They're all very upset. So what was the reaction from the right? Well, first, this was my personal favorite. We had some good ones. This is the GOP House Judiciary Committee, Covfefe Forever, which was great. I love that. Covfefe was literally one of the best tweets ever. But that was their reaction. Trump did say he's not going to come back on Twitter. Truth Social is doing great. Can't say that's true because this is Trump's numbers on Truth Social. He currently has 4.62 million followers. I could really doubt who is on Truth Social and not following Trump. And why are you there? Very questionable. Why are you on Truth Social if you're not following Trump? I mean, that's why I'm on Truth Social, just to follow Trump, just to see if he said anything crazy. But that's him on Truth Social. This is what he has on Twitter in the first 24 hours after being reinstated. 87.5 million followers. Yeah, that's 22 times the amount he has on Truth Social. I don't know if Trump has the fortitude and the discipline to keep to that promise. Also, you saw it before, it was still up. Biden has 36.4 million followers. President that received the most votes ever has less than half the followers of president who received the second most votes ever, I guess. So, what does this all mean? Trump's back on Twitter. Is he going to actually post on Twitter? I mean, I'm guessing yes. Who knows when? I would say that if he does do it, he's going to start doing it with screenshots of his Truth Social page to keep Truth Social relevant. It would be kind of insane if because once he's off Truth Social, once he starts posting exclusive stuff to Twitter, Truth Social is even deader than it is now. I mean, like I said about all these Twitter alternatives, Truth Social, Gab, Parler, and now the left-wing ones, Mastodon and whatever. Getter is another right-wing one. You don't need to have 100 million, 300 million, 2 billion daily active users to be successful. You could have like a few million and be fine. 10 million. You won't be the biggest company on the planet like Twitter is or Facebook, but you'll still be a solid business. You know, that's true. You don't need to be like the most successful platform to be a successful platform. That's true for all those. But with Truth Social really is Trump's vehicle. So it will literally have nothing if Trump's not on it. So I don't see how he can leave Truth Social without admitting that he's shutting down Truth Social. So I don't know how that's going to work. But basically, the best thing about all this is that Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and now he's just doing whatever he wants. And we all know that it's him doing whatever he wants, as opposed to all these randos in the back who have zero accountability and nobody knows who they are. And then when people get thrown off and then put back on and then thrown off again, put back on, people could just be like, oh, it's the algorithm. I don't know. So that happens all the time to plenty of high-profile Twitter accounts. Libs of TikTok is the first that comes to mind. But now everyone's back, except for Alex Jones, because Elon Musk said, yeah, I'm not bringing that guy back. That guy's nuts. But, you got ALX is back. Babylon B is back. James O'Keefe is back. Project Veritas is back. Who else? I'm definitely missing a dozen more that all came back. So I think it's actually a good thing that all this is happening. I think the best days of Twitter were when it was the Wild West, when anyone could pretty much post whatever they wanted with little consequence. And I'm not talking about threats or violence or whatever, but jokes were allowed. That was really nice. So I think we should get back to those days. And I think it'll be great now that Trump is back. It's not the fact that he's back which is making it crazy. It's just the fact that everyone's going nuts over Elon Musk doing what he's doing. So I like it. I think it's great. And let's keep it going. All right. That was my take on the whole Trump coming back to Twitter thing. This is Moshe Hill. You're watching A Hill with a View. Make sure to stay on this channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and we're going to keep it coming. All right. Have a great